Well, let's say thank you to Grace. Now, we start another stage, diversity and inclusion. You could have heard a clean voice. You could have heard a coin drop. Sometimes you have to be uncomfortable. You have to be willing to look in the mirror. To have someone else show you the mirror. You have to be uncomfortable. In those first couple of minutes of this very short speech, did you find that you were comfortable with the silence? Tell the truth. Were you uncomfortable with the silence? Yes?
Yes.
Were you uncomfortable with the silence? No. You were uncomfortable with the silence. Why?
It's unusual. We were waiting. Nothing.
Nothing, yet everything. Nothing, yet everything. We don't spend enough time when we're talking about diversity and inclusion to get still and get quiet and go within. Right? We don't spend a lot of time with that in the world that we live in today. We spend a lot of time with a lot of minutia and a lot of noise and a lot of traffic and a lot of incoming and not enough internal work. So I believe that the best way to enroll in inclusion is to start within. It's about engagement. Were you disengaged during those first couple of minutes or engaged? Some were disengaged, some were engaged. The disengagement came from what? Help me.
The silence. We were all just, I noticed everyone was just looking at you. It's like in that silence, nobody was like looking around going, what the heck? We were all like, what?
Where are you going with this?
Yeah.
Think of it this way. After 31,276 hours, give or take, of life coaching, corporate coaching, I noticed something. And after 21,000 of professional speaking, I noticed something about people. And they don't really get to the best levels of growth until they get a little uncomfortable and they won't make a change. Does that make sense? That's when you'll do the work. So let's go back. let's go back to the early days when I actually had a full head of hair. Like afro all over. I don't miss it. I just figured I'd increase my character personality by every inch it rolled back. So it's fun to be around. But at the end of the day, back in the day, it started like this. There was a day called Martin Luther King Day. You know what happened on Martin Luther King Day? You cannot imagine. On Martin Luther King Day, what happened was, it was at the Hilton Companies, the Flamingo Hilton. I was a blackjack dealer. I was in my early 20s at that time. And Martin Luther King Day was a day that our bosses named and coined for us. We got our own holiday. Sounds good? Or you know I'm going somewhere. By the way, I started, you know I'm going somewhere, right? Because I didn't get anybody going, yeah, that sounds good. You're like, where you going? Right? MLK Day was the day that all people of color on the casino floor had off. It happened to be a Monday. They either had Sunday, Monday, or Monday, Tuesday. So Monday, our boss's name, Martin Luther King Day, their relief from us. How's that leave you feeling? At that same property, there was a gentleman. He spoke with tight fists. He had hair like a Brillo pad, but always long. He was 5'1", and he spoke with an accent. And he used to say things like, "We've got to get those pillars fixed." And the pillars were pillows. And he would say things, you got to look at this thing appropriated. And it was appropriate. The NAACP came down hard on those times. They wanted diversity. They wanted inclusion. They wanted diversity. And this brilliant president of ours said to the NAACP, actually he said internally, he didn't say it to the NAACP. And where am I supposed to find myself a smart nigger? So I stand down on a blackjack table, and my boss comes to tell me this in my ear, knowing that I'm standing there with multiple college degrees. He said, "You should go for it." How do you think that leaves you feeling? Excited? Ready to go for it? Then there was another man of German descent, beautiful light baby blue shirt, white cuffs, white collar, Cornell graduate. He was my boss at the Sands, Senior Vice President of Operations. We had an event, had 1,500 people at that event. He says, "I want you to go and introduce me." I was the most junior person on the floor. I was a casino marketing coordinator at the time. Me? So I get up to the front to introduce the Senior Vice President. I say my name. I'm Jesse Farrell. And then I went into a language. I believe it was Klingonese. You know Star Trek?
Oh, yeah.
Say yes if you know Star Trek.
Oh, yes.
It went like Pong Gain Kong Biden Gao Larry Lowen. So I got his name right and I got my name right. Everything else in the middle was Greek. I had no idea. So I was snake bitten that day. The snake that bit me was German Jew and very fierce, trial by fire. So he slithers on back into the room and he says to me, whispers in my ear, "Looks like you need a little work in your public speaking, huh?" You think? No words came out. I said something that changed for me, the whole world. It made change in your world. Never again. Never again will one man or one woman decide the quality of my communication at a breath like that. I didn't get a chance to practice. I didn't know anything about public speaking. I was nervous, I was scared, I was unprepared, but none of that mattered. Would that have left you feeling uncomfortable? The thing is, what would you have done about it? Practice. That's exactly what I said. I began to practice to the degree that 24 years later, I opened up a professional speaking, life coaching, and corporate coaching company because of the quality of the way I speak. I owe him a lot of gratitude. The gratitude was he made me uncomfortable. He made me reach inside and go get what was already there. I decided I'm going to be able to speak to the degree that everyone can understand me in full English, in full color. And I owe him that gratitude today. As challenging as that was, it was a blessing. So you in this room have a responsibility. You have what I call reach. It's really, really huge. The reach stands for responsibility, engagement, accountability, and connection. And the H is how you do it. You can do that. You can do that at the base level. Let's simplify this whole thing called inclusion and break it down to its most simple term. So, I wrote a book called, my first book called How You Lead the World. Very excited about this book. It's done quite well in terms of sales. By the way, I want to mention now, I want you to go to my website. You've got the information here. I want you to know, right on the first page of the website, you'll be able to download you'll be able to request to have me download the ebook to all of you for free, if you're interested in reading it. So I wrote this book called How You Lead the Feeling. And what it is the H part, we're going backwards. The H part of that whole reach campaign is the How You Lead the Feeling. How you go through life, affecting the lives of others and your own. Most of us in the room were taught that golden rule. The golden rule is treat others how
They wouldn't want you to choose.
exactly. Treat others how you want to be treated. Well, what if you're a little goofy? What if you're so goofy you'll start off the speech with 2 minutes of silence? Not everyone wants to be treated that way. So this book talks about the platinum. Treat people how they want to be treated, and they will tell you. Don't people tell us how they want to be treated all the time? You agree? Do you live that? Do you live in a world where people tell us, well, how they want to be treated all the time? Sometimes we have to look a little deeper. So when I go for this book and put it out there to the world, for the world to get this, I send it out to some of my favorite people, and that president of mine was one of those favorites. After about 15 days on the market, I looked on Amazon, there was a book for sale. How can a book be for sale when the distribution is here? There's no other How You Lead the Feeling. I've got to buy that book. So I bought the book, and I'm holding the book. This book that I'm holding has an inscription to my former president that I wrote it to. He sold my book that was a gift to him within 15 days of its release. I bought it back to see who would do that. So what I say to you, as you think about the hardships we go through, I don't have a cross to bear that I'm the only one who goes through hardship. Different religions do. Different races have challenges. Women have challenges. Other minorities have challenges. Asians, American Indians, Eastern Indians. We all have our own crosses to bear. So this thing called inclusion, it's about all of us. There's a thing called acculturation stress. That's when you seek to make a migration into a governing body of a society that you don't look like, sound like, or feel like anybody else in that governing body. The Indians felt it probably first for us. So what I say to you is let's use the REACH campaign from a leadership perspective. Be responsible. Make the people around you that can help you move this forward responsible. Employee engagement. Engage and connect and make a difference by just talking to people. Use accountability for yourself and have an accountability partner to make sure that you hit the benchmark that you say you want to. And definitely get connected by all means. And use that How You Lead the Feeling concept, that platinum rule, that helps you reach people at the level where they're at. Does that make sense to you? Say yes if that makes sense.
Yes.
Will you do this?
Yes.
Yes. When will you do this? When?
Now.
You promise? Because I know where you live, I'm going to be watching. You want to do this now. We don't have all the time in the world. It took me 52 years, a few years ago, to learn that my thing called perfectionism, which I'm a recovering perfectionist, was not something that was based on authority. It was based on shame and blame. It was based on not fitting in. Like Brene Brown says, it's a 20-ton shield that you think protects you, but it's the very thing that keeps you from taking flight. So you have to do this now. We don't have the time we think we have. Time passes. The older we get, the faster it passes. So I want you to consider today, what will you do? What one thing will you do to help this inclusion piece really take root at the grassroots level? And know that you don't have all the time in the world.